Fran, you're from London, which has had a big bubble underway. A lot of new building there, all being bought by Asians and Russians, buildings that are largely empty. How can you tackle affordability?
Well, I would say the obvious answer to that is rent control, which is possible. And certain urban authorities in the London context have been looking at rent control, not just in respect of residential properties, but also commercial properties, because that is another respect in which cities like London and like New York are becoming increasingly unaffordable. There is a real affordability crisis in London. Much of it, someone would say, you can't go wrong betting on the London real estate market in the same way you can't really go wrong betting on the New York real estate market. But the major driver of the affordability crisis in London at the moment is international capital. It's the fact that foreign landlords are buying up housing stock, increasingly lucrative housing stock in London, which is remaining radically underoccupied, if occupied at all, or let on an absentee basis. Now, this is something that cities can do something about, but it is to interfere in the market in supply and demand. It would require a very strong political will. Having said that, I don't think you're ever going to lose votes by creating some screams of pain from private landlords.
So what, in practice, do you think people should do? What are the exact measures that you would recommend?
London is a very bad model to learn from in this instance, because the system that we have at the moment is a system where private rents to private landlords and our social rented sector, our public rented sector, is decreasing year on year and has been for 30 years now. But we have a system where benefits to private renters represent a huge public subsidy from the taxpayer to private landlords. So market rents are subsidised for people on low incomes. This is the primary means by which this aspect of the market is managed. The strategy that is being used currently, and this is a national government strategy, not a city government strategy, it's been opposed by Boris Johnson, the Conservative Mayor of London, even though he's a member of the ruling party at national level, has been to reduce the public benefit to market tenants, which means that fewer and fewer people on low incomes will be able to live in London. The only way to handle that is from the other side, is to put caps on the level of rents that can be charged in the private sector. You can't do it by transferring money from taxpayers to private landlords through housing subsidies.